Hello everyone, welcome to the next session. Now in this session, I'm gonna be discussing something very interesting with you. Something very important and very significant. Now this session we would be dedicating to what is known as time series plotting. But before we really move ahead, let us first understand what a time series is all about. Now you must have guessed by name. Time series means a series, a data set, which is related to the moment of time. That means you want to see how one particular data set values move according to the moment of time. Let's say, for example, you want to see how the share prices of a particular stock or a particular company has behaved, let's say, over a period of 1 year. So now what you are doing here is one variable is the share price, the other variable is the time. You want to build a relationship between time and the share prices. And this is what a time series is all about. Time series means one, you want to track the movement of a particular variable over a period of time. I'm repeating. Time series means a series in which you want to track the movement of a particular variable over a period of time. For example, you want to see and visualize the movement of share prices of, let's say, Lance Industries over a period of last 1 year. So that means one variable has to be the time variable and the other variable can be something else like the share price. And that is what a time series is all about. Time series is one of the most used concept in the field of statistics and applied finance. Some of you, I believe, might have done this also, maybe in Excel or in any other type of software. Now let's see how Python can power up your time series plotting and the visualization and analysis as well. So there are few important things that you need to understand when you are working with time series. And the very first thing that you need to do when you are working with the time series is you have to convert a date column into the date time format. You must be knowing that the data can be in many formats. It can be float, it can be in the format of numbers, integers, it can be a boolean value, it can be an object, and similarly there is another format which is known as the date time format. Now in Python, when you're dealing with the time series data, it is very important that you first convert your date column into the date time format. That otherwise what will happen? By default, Python will take your date column as an object column. It will treat the data type as object, which we don't want. We want to tell Python that we are doing a time series plotting. So our one variable is of date time format, not of object or integer or any other type of format. So that is the very first important thing you need to do when you are working with time series data and you are visualizing it in Python. The second important thing you need to do is the missing values imputation. Now, there might be a scenario that many values might not be there, or there might be some missing values. That means there is a date. Let's say, for example, on Saturdays and Sundays, the markets don't work. So possibly, if you have downloaded your data, there are chances that on certain dates the value must be there might not be any value to be shown. There might be nil value or not applicable or any and anything can be there. These are missing values in your data. You cannot move ahead with missing values when you are performing data visualization or even data analysis, because sometimes these missing values affect your analysis like anything. So the another important part here is you have to deal with those missing values. We call this logic as the missing values imputation. So what you need to do here, you need to first check whether your data has missing values or not. If not, then well and good, you can move ahead with your data without any further issues. But if there are missing values, Then you can do two different types of things. One, you have to remove those missing values. That means you have to delete those missing values from the data. Two, or you can replace those missing values. Both the options are open to you. Normally, we remove the missing values, we don't replace them. That's a very normal uh, thing that we do with missing values in prediction. Then it is designating the date column as the index. Now, Python works on the indexing system. The first row of your table is given index 0. The second row of your table is given index 1. The third row of the table is given index 2. So the index starts from 0. It doesn't start from 1. So it is very important that you designate your date column as an index so that when you when you will plot your time series, when you will analyze your variable with respect to time, the Python will automatically take your date column as an index column and all the things would be quite easy. So the next thing what you need to do, you need to designate the date column as an index so that the Python will treat date column as an index column and will automatically plot dates on your x-axis. So these are the very three important things that you need to do when you're doing a time series plotting. Now let's see how the system works. The very first thing that you need to do, you need to import your CSV file. Obviously, without importing, you cannot work with it. So the data, a time series data, which is normally in the form of CSV, which is comma separated values, this CSV file needs to be imported. You need to import the CSV file to your Jupyter interface, or maybe to any other IDE interface, whatever you are using. Then you need to import pandas. Pandas is a very powerful library when you are working with tables. Now, since a data in a CSV is like a table, so you have to use pandas here. With the help of pandas, your table would be treated as data frame. So we don't use the word table in Python. We use the word panda data frames. Okay. Then you need to create a data frame variable. So I have named it as df equal to, you can name it as anything, whatever you like. Okay. So there is no restriction, there is no compulsion that you have to name it df only. Df is equal to, you have to make your file read by the system. Okay. The CSV, you have to read the CSV file which you have imported into the system. Okay. And then finally the print your data frame file. Okay. Please remember, these instructions which I'm showing you are applicable only if you are running a Windows system. If your system is a Mac or Linux, then a system is a little different, which is on the right bottom. Okay. So the commands are a little different. You have to use open only, but after that you have to the address might differ. Okay. And then don't need to, and then the read command is different. Okay. There we read pd, there we use pd.read underscore csv, but then here you have to use myfile.read. Okay. If you will not use myfile.read in a Mac or Linux systems, it will not work. So the way of opening files in Mac and Linux systems is a little different. So if you're running on it, then it is important that you take a note of it. Okay. All right. Before I move, let's see how the system works. Let me show you how you can import a file. Okay. So this is my Jupyter interface. Okay. So let me start with a new notebook. If you wish, you can save your notebooks in advance and you can work with them. Okay. So now we need this. Okay. So let's take this onto my interface. Okay. Let's take the entire code here. Okay. So this is the file which I want to import. Okay. Which is stored in my documents folder as by the name of bank.csv. Okay. Here, let me show you how the system of works. All right. This is the path. Okay. This is the path where your file is saved. Now, how to see? If you don't know, then it's important for you to understand how to see the path. Let's say this is the CSV file I want to import. Okay. You can make a right click, go to properties, and see. This is the address. C users P53 and the documents folder. This is where my file is saved. So here I have, if you go to the interface, you will see it's the same address. Okay. Okay. Let me do it for you. Let me remove this. Let me copy this address. Let's say properties. Okay. Let me copy this address where my file is saved. Okay. Let me paste it. And sorry, it is by the name of bank.csv. Okay. That's the name of my file. Sorry. All the bank.csv. Okay. But you have to take care of one thing, one important thing here. These slashes have to be converted to backslashes. Okay. So this is something very important that you have to edit before you run this command. Otherwise, you will not be able to import the file. Okay. This is what I showcase you here. Okay. These are backslashes. But when you will copy it from your folder, it would be, uh, simple slashes. The way I've shown you here. Like if you see the address, you see the slashes are like this. Okay. But then here you have to change the direction of slashes. So it is important. If you will not do it, you will not be able to import the file. So it is my file equal to, you can write anything. My file, I am using my file. If you wish, you can use any other uh, variable name, whatever you like. Okay. Then open, then the path where you have saved the file. Okay. Then import the pandas as PD. PD is the context for pandas. Then I want to build a data frame. So I have named it as DF. You want to name it something different, your choice. It is not important that you have to call it as DF only. Okay. So DF is equal to PD dot read underscore CSV is the function that you have to use. And what you want to read, you want to read my file, the my file that you have created above. Okay. Just above I have created. And then finally the print DF. Fine. So when you will run this, let's see what happens. Sometimes you have to get a little bit more. Yeah. Now you can see. Okay. So it's a data. We have a date column here. We have this ICICI Bank share prices, and we have the HDFC Bank share. Now this data varies from 1st January 18 to 12 June 2020. That's the um, time period I have taken. This data consists of 602 rows and 3 columns that you can see summary. And this is the index. If you see, it starts with 0. Okay, zero. First row is 0 index, then index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4, and so on. Okay, this is how it goes. It starts from index 0. If you want to go, or if you want to start from end, the end value, like for example, this is the end value, 12 June 2020 is the end value. Then if you want to start from end, it starts from -1 index. If you want to see what is my end value, then you have to give -1 as your index value. Okay, it's very simple. It's very simple. It starts from 0 from here, from top to bottom. But if you want to start from bottom to top, then it starts from -1. Okay, you can work anyways. It's your choice. You can work anyways as you like. So this is the data we have. Fine. That's what we can see. Now what do you want to do? You want to simply do 3 more steps, which I told you, that you have to check for missing values. Okay, because that's something very very important, that whether missing values are available in your data or not. You can simply see whether missing values are there or not. Then second is you have to check each column for missing values. See, you can check missing values by different ways. You can check by individual values as also. So if you're checking by individual values, you have to go by df.isna. Okay, isna, the function that you use. Df, why I have used df here? Because my data frame has been named as df. Like if you see, this is df is equal to pd.read underscore csv. Now since I have used df here, that is why I'm using df here. Okay, if you have named your file by some other name, you have to use some other name. The main point is this isna function you can use. If you want to check by each column, which is more popular, okay, then you have to use df.isna.ne. So this .ne would be additional if you want to check each column for missing values. Okay, the idea is that once I will come to know what are my missing values, I can move ahead. Either the most possibly I would remove those missing values or I will replace those missing. One thing has to be done. Either replacement has to be done or the removal has to be done. Okay. Then further, if you wish, you can draw a bar plot also just to see the amount of missing values. If you have a data set which consists of huge amount of missing values, then we don't consider that data is very good data. Okay. And in such type of data, if you wish to remove missing values, then what happens? Your data sometimes becomes, a lot of hazy, lot of misleading, which I say. So this is the command that you can use, df.isna.sum.plot kind equal to bar. Okay. So you have to tell that you want a bar plot. Then you have to use this command also, plt.show, or you can run. And if you want to remove, so if you can see that there are certain missing values and you want to remove rows with missing values. Okay. The important point is the you want to remove rows. So you can check by column wise, you can check by individual values wise. That's a different thing, but our idea is I want to drop all the missing values. Now since my data is in the form of rows only, so I want to remove all the rows which is consisting of missing values. So what I can do, I can simply use drop na function. Okay. So df dot drop na. Why df? Because my file has been named as df. So df dot drop na function can be used. And once you will apply this drop na function to the entire data frame, to the entire table, all the missing values will be automatically removed. You don't need to do anything. Right? If you're doing in Excel, trust me, it takes a lot of time. In Excel, you have to literally find where are my missing values, then deleting them. The magic here is that you have to simply give one single line, and from your table, whatever number of missing values are there, maybe running in thousands, hundreds, doesn't matter, they'll automatically be removed. That's the power of Python, which you can use in time series plotting. Okay, or any type of data frame, or if you're working with tables. So that's something which I wanted to tell you as a beginning of time series plotting. And we would be continuing with this session, and we would be going through lots and lots of different things. Lots of different stuff that we can do with time series plotting. Till that time, keep plotting and happy plotting.